Yo, so what's going on, everyone? So, pretty soon I'm gonna be releasing a project called 40 Days, and right now I'm at the stage where I've written everything, right? I've written all the material, I've recorded all of it. Now I'm just putting together the visual part of it, right? Now, what is 40 days? Where does the concept originate from? 40 days is from the Bible. Long story short, Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days, and when we say 40 days, it doesn't necessarily mean exactly like 40 days. It can be a week, it can be a year, it can be whatever amount of days that applies to you. Now, back to the story. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days. And during those 40 days, he was fasting. He was on a spiritual journey, right? Now, while he was on this spiritual journey, he encountered the serpent. The serpent, obviously, is Lucifer, the Satan, the devil, whatever label you want to give him. So, the serpent crawls in, right? And you know that the serpent is a hater, so he tries to dissuade Jesus from his goal of his spiritual goal, right? So the way that the snake does this is he tempts Jesus with three things. He tempts Jesus, um, pardon me, this is like, none of this is scripted, I'm just speaking off my dome, so I forgot what the three were. Like, they're categorized. I forgot what they were though, but basically the serpent tempted Jesus with um, turning stones into loaves of bread, jumping off a cliff and having the angels come and save him, and with pledging his allegiance and giving his, um, pledging his allegiance to the serpent, and in return he'll gain all of Earth's kingdoms. Now the fucked up part is that Jesus was actually already promised all of these things simply just by following God, right? But as usual, the father of lies gives us hollow promises if we pledge our allegiance to him. Now, the difference between God and Lucifer is that God, all the gifts that you gain, you're gonna have to work for it, and it's gonna be more rewarding when you receive it, and there's no strings attached. Versus the serpent, when you receive the things from the serpent, one, there's gonna be conditions. He's gonna require something from you that is gonna be detrimental to you or to another human being. Two, he's not gonna follow 100% on his word. He's gonna throw in some type of trickery to fuck with you. I probably fucked this whole intro up because, like I said, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. But basically, Jesus pushed through and he resisted all of the devil's temptations. Okay, so make a long story short, and to try to clear this up, Jesus went to the wilderness for 40 days. He was tempted by the serpent. Instead of giving in, he continued to follow God and pushed through and made it through his spiritual journey. All right. Now, an interesting theory of XXX. X is the Roman numeral for 10, right? So 10, 20, 30. John, the book of John, I believe, 1 through 30 depicts the story I was trying to tell. It tells the story of the temptation of Jesus, and that's what temptation, however you say it. This is what temptation means. It means temptation. Unknown temptation, right? And I believe that we all go through life being tempted by the serpent. You know, We all experience these unknown temptations. Why are they unknown? Because we're not connected to God. Therefore, we can't see clearly and we can't see when we're being tempted. Instead, we give in to those temptations and we stray further from God. I believe that this is the meaning behind X's name, and I believe that that's kind of like an Easter egg. You know, X himself said that all throughout his life he would give in to his body, to his what his body desired, right? And that's why he would do a lot of outlandish shit when he was younger. But like, you know, like right before he died, he started to realize that these temptations are actually opportunities to prove your allegiance to God, and it is better to resist the temptations and instead take opportunities to better your community and better those around you, right? And I believe X had good intentions, he went about it wrong. You see, my theory, this doesn't have to be right. This does not have to be right. And if you want to debate about it, we can debate about it. My theory is that X sold his soul so that he can have a platform to save others. He literally sacrificed himself. And no, I'm not saying X was Jesus. Nobody is Jesus. Jesus is the Son of Man. Jesus died for our sins. Jesus is more than an average human. He was human, he was God in human form, but he is not like anyone else because of his mission and what he did. If anything, Jesus was the ultimate starseed. Because before Jesus died on the cross, we had to, when we sinned, we had to sacrifice things. That's why there's accounts of animals and others being sacrificed for sin. But when Jesus came down and sacrificed himself, we no longer had to do that. Instead, we can believe in him and believe in God and, how do I put this, sacrifice ourselves for him by living the righteous path, because it is harder to live righteous than it is to live wrong, correct? Giving in to temptations is way easier than resisting it and doing what's right. I believe that's a sacrifice. Anyways, X, he wanted a large platform to speak to a large number of people, so he sold his soul in order to have that platform. That's why he blew up so quick. I mean, his artistic side had a lot to do with it because he was very versatile and he knew how to connect with the youth. But I mean, I think he did sold his soul because he said it multiple times in his music. He made a whole song about it called I Spoke to the Devil in Miami, where he depicts a story of him making a deal with the Baphomet. And it's sad, you know. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was just doing that. Uh, maybe he was just doing it for the views. Maybe that's what got him a larger platform. But nobody knows because nobody personally knows X, and nobody saw the world through his eyes, so nobody knows. um, but yeah, I believe that my theory is that he sold his soul for a larger platform, right? And like I said before, there's a difference between making a deal with God and making a deal with the devil. Making a deal with God, you're going to have to work for it, but the rewards are going to be wholesome. There's going to be no strings attached. But you see, X didn't do that. Instead, he made a deal with the devil. And when he got what he wanted, the devil was like, okay, you think that you can just use me for good purposes? That's not how I work. I'm the devil. I'm evil. So, they killed him. Especially the elites. The elites don't want somebody like that. Somebody young, like X, speaking the truth. And not just speaking the truth, but knowing how to manipulate the frequency of music. You see, X, in that interview with academics, he explained that he understood that music vibrates at a certain, what is it, hertz or megahertz, right? And he knew that when you listen to music, the music travels through, hold on, where did I put it? X knew that when you listen to music, it travels from your phone through here, out this, right? And into your ear. And it travels through your ear canal, and then your ear canal basically transcribes that signal into the brain, right? And then the brain uh, puts an output signal, and that's you consciously being aware of the music you're listening to. But it's not just that. The sound wave, it basically gets absorbed into the eardrum, and then the eardrum basically sends that vibration. It's like a Morse code to the brain, and it vibrates different parts of the brain. That's why X said, I know how to vibrate different areas of your brain. If I want you to feel sad, I can make you feel sad. If I want to make you astral project, I can make you astral project. If I want to put you in a meditative state, I can do so. Isn't that crazy? And I don't even think that X was really doing that in his music yet. I think he was still in the experimenting part. I believe that the album 17 and Question Mark, they were like the attention grabbers, right? They were the ones that were getting the views and were attracting the youth. Hmm? That's why a lot of his songs, they were like mainstream like sounding, and a lot of his songs, they were formulated that way so he can grab people's attention. But once he had people's attention, I believe he was working on releasing music that started to mess with, not mess with, alter your brain and make you, more positive and make you think about things. You feel me? um but yeah, like, I really do. I like X. He was like, we were both around the same age. He was 20 years old. He was born January 1st, January 20, January 23rd, 123, 1999, right? 1998. 123, 1998. So X was he was around my age, and we both had similar ideas, and we had similar ways of thinking, But like every star seed, he had to go through a period of tribulations and a period of darkness in order to grow and become what he was. People love to judge X based on the old him. That's why in that music video, Sad, he was fighting his old self because, like Denzel Curry said in that song, Once Upon a Time, isn't it ironic that the younger me is the older me? It's because the younger you was a different person. You're not even the same person you were at that age, right? I'm not the same person I was however many years ago, and neither was X. But people love to judge him on his past. They weren't focusing on what he was doing. He was trying to right his wrongs. And was he perfect? No, but he had a good heart, and he was really trying to change his community, right? I know I'm getting a little bit worked up, but like, it's like, man, like, we need more people like this. My phone's about to die. Um, we need more people like this who are actively going to change our community. All that spirituality stuff, yeah, of course that can be debated, and da 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 da. People can think what they want. The point of the matter is that he was trying to unite people together and try to overthrow these systems of control. That is what matters. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what J. Cole is trying to do. That's what I believe Joey Badass is trying to do. That's what a lot of these artists are trying to do. That's what Nipsey Hussle was trying to do. Rest in peace to Nipsey. And you know, I'll be straight up. I did not know who he was before he got shot. That's really sad. But because it's like, how the fuck do I know Daylight, but I don't know Nipsey Hussle? Anyways. But I read a little about what he was doing before his death, and man, was he trying to change. Uh, he was trying to change his community out there in Cali. So that's respectful. But once again, he got shot. It seems like so many stars are falling. So many star seeds are just getting killed left and right. My God. But like I said, back to what I was saying. XXX Tentacion. It means um unknown temptation, and I believe that we're always fighting against these unknown temptations in life. And like I said, do you give into the body, and do you give into the evil, or do you follow your spirit and follow the eternal? Because like Deadpool, the spirit is immortal. It can't die no matter how many times you hurt it or disfigure it or whatever. Spirit is immortal, so you have to live life as if you are trying to heal your spirit. Like, your body is important because balance, body, mind, and soul, but a lot of people are out of balance and focus too much on the body. The body is gonna decay eventually. The body's gonna die and your spirit's gonna go wherever it goes next. So that's why I said we need to form a balance between the spiritual, body, and mental. And when temptations come around, you need to strengthen yourself. Because what are temptations? Temptations are weaknesses. They are things that give you pleasure. They are things that are going to make you weaker, right? So when a temptation comes around, that's your time to, you know what, say I'm going to be a better person. I'm not going to do that. And temptations come in every form. It can be sexual, it can be digital, it can be anything that makes you go against God. It can be anything that kills your spirit, right? You know, some of us, our temptation is we want to binge watch movies or TV shows, right? Everything in moderation, balance. I keep saying that. Balance. You know, it's okay to watch that stuff, but when you do overdoing it too much, it becomes an addiction. Hmm? Same thing with social media. Same thing with porn. Same thing with sex. Same thing with like collecting. Over collecting something, being a hoarder. Same thing with being a drug addict. Same thing with anything that is overused too much. That's a temptation. Um, man, I hate that I do this. Like, I get so worked up, and I'm sorry if I don't make sense. I'm sorry if I was just going all over the place and if you couldn't follow me. But you see, my mind is always racing. Thoughts travel at a speed that I don't know the speed exactly, but look it up. Thoughts travel really fast. And because I vibrate at a higher frequency, that does not mean I'm better than anyone. It does not mean that I am above anyone. But because I vibrate at a higher frequency, my thoughts are always racing. They're always going, going, going. You know what I'm saying? So when I start to talk about things that I'm passionate about, it's like my mind becomes like a tree. Like, I grow a tree and all these different branches of thought, and I'm trying to explain each and every one as they form. You know, some people think I like do cocaine and I don't. Some people think that I'm ADD and I'm not. It's just that when all these ideas are forming in my head, I'm trying to explain it. I tend to go all over the place. But let me bring it back into focus. We're talking about 40 Days EP, the project I'm about to release. So, it's a story, really. There's a physical story to it, and there's a spiritual story to it. The physical story is this, okay? First track, John Hightower, okay? First track is John Hightower. So, this is going to be set on a Thursday, okay? Now, for Thursdays, um, Thursdays is my day off from Q's Cake, so that's where I work at the moment. So, day one is Thursday, John Hightower. I woke up in the morning and I saw a comment on my YouTube channel, right? And it was by a guy named John Hightower. And I was curious and I clicked on his channel and I saw that he had a whole bunch of beats, right? And one of the videos I saw was a video of XXXTentacion. He was paying a tribute to him. And I was like, okay, cool. This guy likes X. Awesome. Um, so after I watched that video, I clicked on his other beats, right? And there were some of them were all right. A lot of them are they have like a lo-fi aesthetic to it, and a lot of his beats are like trap instrumentals, like the new shit. But there was one beat in particular that I liked. It's called Mama Told Me, and I picked it. And I asked him, can I use this beat? And he said, sure, go for it. So I did. And I made this song called John Hightower. I named it after the dude. Um, and the first song is about, me waking up and uh, I'm trying to remember the lyrics. That's why I keep pausing because like I said, none of this is scripted and I can't go on my phone and look at it because my other phone is dead and this one I'm live streaming. Um, yeah, the first song is about me finding this guy on YouTube. This is Thursday, right? And it's my day off, so I'm focusing like on my YouTube channel, and I feel like that is more. Well, it's not more important because obviously you need to go to a job, but I feel like it's more fulfilling to my spirit. You know that I'm connecting with others and I'm helping others to get to. I'm helping others by getting them to start thinking about God and about the spiritual realm and such, right? And it gives me more hope, and I'm a little bit more optimistic when I see the little impact I made online, right? So this is Thursday, first song, John Hightower, and that's the first song, John Hightower. It's Thursday, right? I'm feeling optimistic. My mom always told me to maintain, Confucius, like that's what I do on my days off is I listen to different music and I read different articles and I try to follow spiritual wisdom like how Confucius was saying, our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. In other words, our greatest glory is not in, being this perfect soldier and you never be defeated. Your greatest glory is when you do get defeated and you get kicked down, but you say, you know what, I'm not going to let this, keep me down forever. I'm going to rise up and I'm going to become a better person. That whole Confucius line was about this. When temptations attack you, your greatest glory is not in resisting the temptation, but your greatest glory is when these do get to you, but you rise above it. Because that's the ultimate goal. No one is born perfect, and no one is born with the mindset to fight against these temptations. We have to go through a process of conditioning so we can become that soldier that fights against this, okay? So that's the first track. Second track is I spoke to Squidward in Miami. He said in 40 years we die. Now that track is the next day. um it's like basically Thursday I woke up, right? And I was exploring my YouTube channel, and then throughout the day I was researching things that uplifted me and such, right? And then tomorrow, Friday, I got up and the devil was speaking to me. He was like, don't forget that this is how this system works. You have to go to a job and you have to be in the system, and you're going to be in the system for 40 years. And it sounds like a pretty good deal to me, so why don't you bite the apple and join in, right? Because that's what it is. I feel like that, no offense to our ancestors, but I believe that we're kind of in a system that's slavery with extra steps. Because think about it. You go to work for however many hours, you gain a paycheck, right? And you're getting money from the government, right? And what do you do with that money? You put it back in the system. You give it back to the government in taxes, in rent money, in utilities, in food, clothing, your car, etc., right? So it's like we're caught in this system. And that's what the devil is trying to do. This is a devilish system. None of this is fucking natural, right? You want to know what's natural? You want to look at God's system? You're going to have to go back a couple centuries when we were living naturally and we were using the earth for what it was for. Instead, we abuse the earth now. And instead of relying on Mother Earth, now everything can be made in a laboratory. Everything is made by machines. Like, come on now. And don't get me wrong, technology is great. Technology has helped us a lot. It's when we over depend on it and when it starts to impact the environment too severely that it becomes a problem. So anyways, I wake up on Friday and the devil is telling me this, you have to go to your job and you have to focus on money because money is the root of all evil, because it is. You have to get money to survive. Since you don't know how to grow your own food, since you don't know how to make your own clothes, since you don't know how to build your own shelter, since you basically do not know how to support yourself like we're supposed to, because we're supposed to do that, Since you don't know how to do any of that, you're going to be a part of my system. That's what the devil is saying to me when I wake up on Friday. So, and then, the third song is that Wake Up, I believe is what it's called. Or it's called Q's Cakes. It's one of the two. So it depicts me going throughout the day. Okay? So are you following me? Try to keep up with me. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm scattered brain. First song, John Hightower, Thursday. Woke up, YouTube. Second day, second song is the second day, Friday, and I wake up and the devil's talking to me about, being in the system of control. And then the third song is Q's Cakes, and it depicts my day on Friday where I wakes up with the sun in the east, right? And then I walk down the street. I pass the lake. Remember the day in my life video? I pass the lake, I see it, and I believe that's cool. I think nature is seeing God, right? It's kind of like that, really. I look at the lake, and even though the lake is kind of man-made, it's still like nature. That's God. But then I go to a bus stop, and that's the devil because I have to rely on this bus to get to my job. Now, as I get on the bus, um, it's a long commute. If you watch A Day in My Life, God bless you soul. God bless your soul if you did, because it's kind of long. But I sit through 3 buses, right? And I feel like it's such a waste of time. Like J. Cole said in the interview, we have a limited amount of time on this earth. How many of those limited hours do we spend at these demeaning jobs and sitting on public transportation? But as I'm sitting on this bus, if I'm not listening to music, if I'm just sitting there, like, because sometimes I don't listen to music, sometimes I just sit there and I let my mind wander. And even off the cess, I'm still susceptible to unacceptable journeys of the mind. Because that line basically means that I'm sober. I've been sober for a while. Um, when I say I'm off the set, I don't mean like I'm on it. I said I'm off and without it. Even without weed, I still tend to think so crazy, right? And I tend to think of all these things, right? But as I'm sitting on the bus, my mind's wandering, and so after I get off the bus, I go to my job for 5 hours, and then I get back on the bus, and then I go home and I go to sleep. Okay? Now, another element of this song is that the background vocalist, the sample where she says, "Good morning, heartache, you old gloomy sight." That's the, what's up, man? I'm explaining my 40 Days EP that I'm gonna be releasing soon. And, I'm trying not to be confusing because I'm pretty scattered brain. But, so, what are we on? Third day. So throughout my day at work, I constantly have this voice in my head from my alter ego Thomas. Thomas is a representation of my depression, my anxiety, and all this negative shit that I get from the system, right? So that's so envision Thomas as like the sample in that third song where he's saying "Good morning, heartache." That's what that represents. And when you read the lyrics from when I post this song, I spell morning Mourning because I believe that we wake up in the morning mourning the loss of our souls because we partake in these systems of control. That's why they call it good morning, and that's why they call it good evening. Eve, as in Eve who bit the fruit. I just think language is fucking weird. Um, but anyways, so that's the third track, right? Now, at the end of the third track, I'm talking about the sun's going down, right? Um, I'm listening to lo-fi sounds as the sun goes down. So, first song is Thursday. I feel free because it's my day off and I can do what I want. Second song is the devil talking to me. Is it back on? My phone like almost died. But okay, as I was saying, today is me getting up on Thursday. Second day, devil talking to me. It's Friday. Third song is the same thing. I fall asleep, right? And then the fourth song is a verse from it's a remix from a verse of XXX, right? And you'll see how it transitions. At the end of the third song, the sun is going down, and at the start of the fourth song, capital C says it's going down, right? And then XXX starts his verse. Now the fourth song is a dream. It's a dream. It's like all my insecurities um getting the best of me, and I have this dream of XXX talking to me, and he's like the voice for my insecurities, right? It's like kind of like Thomas. And then that leads to the fifth song, and the fifth song we're still dreaming, right? The fifth song is Eminem, If I Had $1 Million, and that whole song is me dreaming about my, like the negative feelings I get from being part of the system. And then and then the sixth song is money is what makes a man act funny. It's either that or it's money is the root of all evil. And it's when I wake up on Saturday and I start to reflect on like the system around me. It's Saturday, it's my day off, so I start, getting a little bit more introspective, you know. And then the seventh song is Sunday. The seventh song is I'm losing myself. Basically, I'm dissolving my own ego, and I'm dissolving my I'm dissolving my ego, and I'm trying to, lose the flesh, because the flesh is very controlling, and I'm trying to lessen the control that it has over me. Um, and then the eighth song is me going to sleep again, and it's Willow, you know. I do my flows and then I get so lost. It's that. Um, and it's basically me going to the astral plane, because when I fall asleep after, a day of positively thinking, instead of having a nightmare like in track 4 and 5, I astral project, or I lucid dream, and I have a better sleep, because we don't stay in this physical realm. Usually, we don't stay. Fuck, shit, it's reconnecting. Did it reconnect? When we sleep, we don't stay in this 3D reality. Usually, we go somewhere else. Um, and that eighth and ninth song are cool. So the physical side of, like, the physical story is, I wake up on Thursday. It's my day off, and I do what I want, and I be more positive. Second and third day, that's Friday. Okay, and that's the day I work, and that's when the devil starts to tempt me, and the devil starts to try to get into my mind, and he kind of does, because the fourth and fifth song is when I go to sleep that Friday, and I have nightmares about, my insecurities and stuff, and from letting the temptations get to me. Then the sixth and seventh song is the weekend, when I have my days off and I'm growing spiritually again, right? And then the eighth and ninth song is when I go to sleep after Sunday, and I have a better sleep experience. So, and that's the spiritual story too, is that, I start off, the introduction is, me being myself, and then the second and third is me going to work, and then all that stuff, man. Fuck. I don't know if I'm like explaining this right. Fuck. I intended this video to be like 8 minutes, but now it's like fucking 35 minutes, and fuck, no one's gonna even like watch this. Fuck, I fucked this up. But it's coming soon. I'm just making videos on it, and yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, so look out for that. It's coming soon. Um, 40 Days EP tells a story, and I guess I'm just over analytical. Really, is my problem. Um, I also have another project I'm working on. It's called Reanimation. I took the concept from Linkin Park. Linkin Park had a project where they basically remixed and like edited and added new verses to the Hybrid Theory, I believe, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing with my project called Reanimation EP, where I'm taking a bunch of old songs and I'm adding more verses. Like I'm like editing it so that it's like a remix and it's kind of like, well, to me, better. And I'm also throwing in like snippets of interviews and other artist songs that help progress the theme of the album. So, well, it's not an album; it's an extended play. Um, but yeah, that's what Reanimation is, and that'll be coming out soon. Um, but yeah, like, thanks again for 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate it, and like I said, like my ultimate goal is to not like become famous and make money and get bad bitches and fucking have a Rolex and a fucking Lamborghini and bullshit. Like, nah, nigga, no, that's not my goal. Like, it'll be kind of cool to like have it as like a reward, but I mean, my fucking goal is to gain a platform where I can speak to the youth or really anyone who wants to change the fucking system. That's my ultimate goal. Really, what I want to do is just do that. That's all I'm here for. That's all I was put here on this planet for. I don't give a fuck about any kind of earthly desires or nothing. And I want to eventually build a studio so that I can develop, because I know that a lot of my songs and my projects, they're all really rough and there's a lot that needs to be worked on, and I know that my voice is not the greatest and that my flow is kind of weird. That's just because of the voice I was given, but I mean, it doesn't help that I don't have the proper tools to properly make music, because I'm like eggs. I'm very attentive to detail, and I have so many crazy things that I want to put out, and I have so many stories to tell, and it's hard. But eventually I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to help others, and I hope I am. Whether it's through music, whether it's in the medical field, whether it's in psychology, I'm going to be doing something to benefit others. My greatest fear of blowing up and becoming a musician is that they're going to kill me, you know. But you see, that's the thing. If I do blow up and I start preaching the truth, if they kill me, it's gonna be obvious, because I don't have no bad rep. I don't have no enemies, and I don't have any like sort of like I don't have no jail time. I don't have nothing. Like I'm a nerd, if anything. And I'm basically gonna be like Logic. You can't kill me because I'm too damn positive. It'll just look weird. Um, but yeah, rest in peace. He was a really big inspiration to me. Um, I guess I'll end it here. I'm gonna work on 40 Days EP so I can put it out there and give it to you guys. I'm sorry that I made this video so long, and I'm sorry that sometimes I get a little over energetic, but that's how I am. And also, is it me or do I have like really big eyes? Cause I read somewhere like that's a sign that you're a starseed, is that you have really big eyes, or you have like really expressive, beautiful eyes. And I feel like nobody can really tell, because when I put my glasses on, they get visibly smaller. But like I don't know, like I think that my eyes are like bigger than most. But geez, 40 minutes. I'll end it then. Peace, love, and happiness.